Bitcoin has just reclaimed $107,000. But what does this mean and where do I think that we're going? Hi, my name is Devin. I've been in crypto for over a decade, and this is your daily market news and analysis. In the beginning, we're going to go over the news, and then we're going to go into the chart analysis as to exactly where I think that we're going and when. Just in, 33 crypto ETFs are now filed with the SEC, including Trump and Dogecoin. I mean, look at some of these lists. You got Bitcoin and Ethereum, the usual suspects, but then you have Solana, you have XRP, even Litecoin, HBAR. There's even Bonk down here. So if anyone was confused as to where the institutions are going, I think we have our answer. People might be like, well, I don't think he's actually going to do the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. Is he? Well, Utah is. Utah has already introduced their bill for the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, and this is going to allow self-custody protection. So this is a great step, and that's the amazing part about the United States of America. Each state is like their own country. Just in, the SEC launches a task force to create clear regulatory framework for cryptocurrency. Now, a lot of people think that regulations equals a bad thing, but if we look at history and if you look at charts and we look at data, history would tell us after regulatory clarity comes trillions and trillions of institutional money. You know, the thing that we mentioned earlier. Speaking of the SEC, Gary Gensler has officially resigned from the SEC, one of the biggest roadblocks for XRP and crypto as a whole. Well, who was he replaced with, you might be asking? Oh, nobody, but just Marky Mark, one of the most pro-crypto people that we've ever had at the SEC. So if you think, like, if you're confused, it's about to go down. Peter Schiff holds on to his relevancy by a single thread, as he calls Bitcoin a meme coin. Just a quick reminder for you guys, if you didn't know, Peter Schiff has faded Bitcoin at $1,000. It's okay to fade Bitcoin. But to continue to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, what's the word for 100x? Because that's what Peter Schiff has 100x down on of being right or wrong, in this case in a comical way. Now, here's a live look at all the Solana Jeets. Bro, I see the crypto stuff pumping. You must be so rich now. Bro on his last $20 rug. Because that's what Jeets do. They go from one rug to another. They continue. What was a Jeet? A Jeet is someone who does the worst possible thing. Retail in a nutshell. That's what a Jeet is, and that's what the Solana Jeets do. They chase green candles. They love buying tops and getting rugged. It's like they do it like it's their job. They come in, they clock in, they punch in like it's their job to chase green candles and get wrecked. That's what Jeets do. Love of God, don't be a Jeet. Jupiter. I use Jupiter all the time. They have a pretty substantial airdrop. Okay, now I'm not one for airdrop farming, and most airdrops are frankly a complete scam. But Jupiter has been known to do some pretty large airdrops. If you use Soulflare or Phantom or Jupiter, you probably are eligible for this airdrop, because if you're using Soulflare or Phantom, you're going to be using Jupiter to swap in the background. And so you're probably eligible. So I would see if you are eligible. I'll make a separate video on how to do that, how to claim some free money. But most people, as you can see, this wallet, 6low, which is my main my Solnic wallet, it got 200 just for me buying Solnic. So there you go. But I'll make a separate video on how to claim this airdrop. Again, most airdrops are scams, but Jupiter has been known for doing a pretty large, pretty substantial airdrop. So we'll show you guys how to do that. Heehee has absolutely been ripping. It's up 58% over the last 24 hours. He's been on one of my top value plays for a long time now. I have about 22 coins that I believe to be the most upside potential and the least downside risk. He's been on that one for a while, and it's good to see it finally start moving. But let's get into the charts and the analysis. Yesterday was a very volatile day as President Trump officially became the president. And I don't know what people were expecting, but they sort of traded it in a way of the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve was going to get past day one, even though no one has ever claimed that, not even one time. But we ended up, even with all the volatility, we actually went from made a new all-time high and came all the way back down to $99,000, which is basically the back test that I was looking for. And then we ended up closing the candle green. So pretty remarkable stuff. When we look at the daily candles, everything is looking very bullish at this point. We're trading on top of every single moving average, and every single moving average is pointing to the upside. So this is a very good sign. Now, what we've talked about in previous videos was coming from the top to the bottom, dead cat bounce to the 618 Fibonacci retracement. And what I wanted to see was daily body closes above this. This is what we have gotten. So let's recap, the stipulations that are needed in order to get a true proper alt season. They are two things need to be true at the exact same time. That is, Bitcoin must be making an all-time high. Bitcoin dominance must be falling off a cliff. Okay? Both of these things need to be true at the same time in order for us to get life-changing alt season, which when you think about crypto and you think about the life-changing gains, people are talking about the alt season, okay? So these are the stipulations that have been true every time in order for the alt season to be true. So let's see where we're at. We just made an all-time high, so that's number one, but I want to see a proper breakout to 118,000. That to me is where Bitcoin is going to be by February. I made this bet. I had the same bet at 90K when everyone was saying that it's over, we're cooked, we're done for, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. This is it. It's done for. I said that we would go to 120,000 before the bear market. And my real target is 207,000 by the end of the bull market for Bitcoin. Now, I don't believe that Bitcoin is actually the play right now, other than if you're buying it for the next 20 years. However, again, in order for us to get all-time highs and a true, proper, crazy alt season run, we need Bitcoin to be making all-time highs. So do we have the setup for this? I would say yes, we do have the setup for this. We have gotten the daily body closes on top of it. All of the moving averages are sloping to the upside. This was one final liquidation to the downside, shaking out the last bit of retail. And the next move, in my opinion, by February, Bitcoin is going to be $118,000. So I would say that this, number one, is a check. This looks very strong, very good. Okay, well, so what about stipulation number two? Bitcoin dominance. What is Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance measures the entire percentage of the cryptocurrency market that is invested into Bitcoin. We had a similar move from the top to the bottom, dead cat bounce to the 618. What I want to see is for 59.95%, I want to see that hold. And when we look in the past, I have all the previous alt seasons that are measured right here. So you have Bitcoin making an all-time high, Bitcoin dominance peaks, falls off a cliff. During the falling off a cliff is when you get your proper alt season. Same thing, Bitcoin dominance peaks, falls off a cliff. During this time, while Bitcoin is making new all-time highs, is when you get your alt season. And right now, what do we have? Just on a straight line off to Valhalla. Seems to have peaked. We'll see. It's definitely showing some weakness at this point. All of the moving averages are extremely coiled up. So it's not going to take very much at all. All we have to do is get below 57.4%, and that could be what we are looking for. But real weakness, in my opinion, for the dominance. Very, very coiled up at this point. And what I want to see is 59.95% to hold. As long as that holds, that is the local top and the top right there, then no evaluation needs to be further. And then the key critical level to take out after the 57 is going to be 56. That could be a start of something pretty amazing. But as of right now, very coiled up on the moving averages and just sort of chopping in sideways. So we'll keep an eye on that. So stipulation number one, strong setup. Stipulation number two, also a strong setup, okay? What we need to see this break to the downside, though. But in my opinion, so this is like a prequel of what the alt season is going to look at. So we're looking at XCN, and it's just ripping, right? Absolutely ripping. Now, my target for XEN was about 4 to 6 cents, but man, if you were a part of this, like how long did XEN give you this super long 600 days before it did a 6x in a matter of a week? Insane. Now, in my opinion, and this is just, I'm just showing you what alt season is going to look like. You're going to wake up and stuff is going to be up 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x in a day. That's what alt season is. And I'll give you specific, not financial advice to consider with XCN. What I would do with it is I would, the general rule of thumb is every time you 1x, meaning if you go from $1 to $2, consider taking 10 to 20% off the table. So a 5x, this is a perfect opportunity to recoup 100% of your house money back. And now you are playing the game risk-free and you can swing for the absolute fences because you're not playing with any risk. Like you're playing with literal house money at this point. And the cool part about crypto, the most that you can score in baseball is going to be 4 runs, right? That's a grand slam. But a grand slam in crypto is not 4 runs. It's maybe a 40-run shot, or maybe it's a 100-run shot. There is no limit to the amount of runs that you can score in crypto, and you could play this game risk-free if you recoup your first 100% back, and then you just have a moon bag. So in my opinion, that's what I would strongly consider doing with XCN. But I just wanted to show this as sort of a prequel as to what I believe is about to happen in the next few months. If you like this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I will never message you first. Let me know in the comments. You want me to do these every day? Because I certainly can. Repost it and comment that if you want that. Peace.
Damn, hustling.